Yo, what it do, man? This is your boy, North End Floyd. This is the Kickback Podcast. This is EP 236, man. 236 episodes. Been doing this since 2019. And to be honest with you, this is one of probably the most important, most anticipating shows that I have. I didn't have celebrities on, I didn't have actors, I didn't have movie stars on, a few of them that y'all might know. But this show right here, a lot of people was anticipating it. I mean, it's community related. And so we go tap in. I got Miss Sandi Massey. How you doing?
Hi, good to be here.
You've been busy.
Yes, sir. Very busy.
Okay, all right. And you brought a few friends with you. Who we got over here?
Well, sitting right here next to me is my husband, Brian Massey. He's incredibly supportive, and whatever I do, he just supports it and backs it. And then I have my board president with me, Jeff Wheeler.
Jeff, what's good, man?
All good.
We talked a few times. Yeah, for sure. How you doing today?
Great, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I thought the weather was when I seen the weather earlier today, I was like, man, I hope the weather don't really affect things going on because a few places was flooded.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
So was y'all wasn't affected by none of that?
No. We got a little wet, but other than that, we're fine.
Okay, all right. So anyway, where are you from, Miss Sandi? Where are you originally from?
Well, I was born in New Mexico, but I lived in West Texas from the time I was in kindergarten. And grew up in West Texas for a really long time, the Permian Basin area, Midland, Odessa. And moved to Dallas to go to college. Spent really about 30 years in the Dallas area between college and work, and found my way to Houston, and then wound up in Beaumont.
So in Odessa, that they got that movie.
Yes.
The high school. You went to the high school?
No, I actually was in a little town a little bit west of Odessa called Monahans. So if you know anything about Monahans, you would probably only know it because the sand hills are there. There's a lot of commercials that were filmed there because of the sand hills.
Yeah, what is it to do out there in West Texas? That's what I always.
Nothing. The sand hills. That's about it.
Yeah, because I was like, I got a friend of mine. He used to work out there in West Texas in the oil fields, and he was like, bro, it is nothing to do out there and stuff like that. So was it a culture shock when you went to Dallas?
Oh no, it was like a breath of fresh air. So anytime you're living in a desert area, it feels like a blessing to see hills. Like you look at a hill and you're like, there's a mountain.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? There's no mountains in Dallas. I'm like, yeah, there are.
That's how I used to feel when I used to go to Austin. I was like, whoa, that's a mountain right there. Yeah. And so I guess that's why I always like that area, because it's different from out here. It's nothing but trees and stuff. It's the big thicket, I guess. So but yeah, so in Dallas, that's where you went to college?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you go to?
So it doesn't even the college exists, but it's changed its name. So it was Southwestern University when I went there. It's now Nelson University. But I went to a Christian college, and then I went to Dallas Baptist University to get my master's degree.
Okay, Dallas Baptist. I think I just recently seen that school baseball.
Yeah.
I think they did good in like college baseball or something. I was wondering who Dallas Baptist was, because I was like, what are they doing in the College World Series? Well, not the College World Series, but they was actually holding their own against top teams and stuff like that. So 30 years of experience. What attracted you to BISD despite the challenges? Because some people were like, I'm not touching that.
I always have been one that I thrive on challenges, and not because I want to take on a challenge, but because I believe that for Beaumont, especially, my work history has given me a lot of experience and credibility to be able to handle the workload that is in Beaumont. So when you look at the data, it doesn't feel overwhelming to me. It feels like, wow, thank you that I have an opportunity to help hopefully a whole district in a city. Not just me, a whole team of people, whole community of people, but I am the visionary setting the path. Mm-hmm. And I'm just so grateful that I can look at it and see there is so much hope for Beaumont.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to be a part of it.
Jeff, what attracted you to the position? Because you're the president of the board of managers.
Not attracted to the position.
What? Come on, Jeff.
I mean, a variety of things, I guess. But I mean, ultimately, I just really care about this community, and where there's an opportunity to step in and do something good and try to improve the outcomes of everyone, but particularly students, I think that's something that's worth doing. So, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of extra work on top of a full-time job and career, but it's something that I think is absolutely worth doing. And once we right size this and create really, really great student outcomes, the community will be better for it. Not just students, but the
whole city.
community, the whole city.
Yeah.
What technically is the board of managers though?
Seven board members that are appointed by the state. So once the state intervenes based off of the legislative criteria for the TEA, they start to go through an interview process and an appointment process, and then I think there were 106, 110 original applicants for the position, and now there's 7. So.
Yeah, I remember being a couple places and people was leaving and it's like they had to interview for it.
Yeah.
And so you interview for it, and then how did you get picked as far as the president?
That's a really good question.
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, it's both humbling and challenging at the same time. So, I went through the process, not necessarily reluctantly, but it's certainly a big endeavor and a big responsibility. So, thought about it, talked to my family about it, talked to a lot of community members, and ultimately decided that if I was chosen in whatever capacity, that I would do everything I possibly could to help improve this community, to make it a better place to live, work, and raise a family.
Yeah, I think recently I just seen, as far as the principals now, they're making like 6 figures. I seen the news post something like that. Was that always implemented in the plan, or is that, how did that go about?
No, not initially, but the job is such a big job, and it's underestimated the role that principals play in creating a high-performing culture and developing teachers to the level that we're expecting them to grow. And we just figured that we want to give all the teachers a raise, and that will happen in a couple of years. But to start principals off with this commitment of, we're really putting effort toward creating leaders that are going to make a huge difference across their schools, we wanted to put a salary that matched that.
Yeah, I'd seen a BISD. They made a post showing like the new principals and stuff, and I seen a joke. I seen a guy was like, "Man, BISD is hiring nothing but models," because all the principals had the nice.
I did the same thing.
He was like, "Golly,
looking good."
I know. I was like,
a new headshot after
yeah, man, all the headshots was just perfect. I was like, oh, okay.
That I give credit to the comms department, because they had them all come in and do headshots. So Todd in our comms department takes those pictures. Shout out to Todd, because he did such a good job.
I'm gonna have to get Todd. Does he do headshots other than the principals?
I'm sure he would. And James is the one that put out the video, so they're both doing a great job in the comms department.
Okay, all right. As far as like important school dates, because school is coming up, as far as community, what do you want people to know about the upcoming school year, as far as like parents and stuff?
I really hope that they'll be excited and looking forward to really fantastic changes for their students. All the effort possible is going into training, preparing training right now. We start principal training July 20th, which is Monday.
Okay.
They'll get 6 straight days of training in addition to just being on their campus and getting it ready. And then when teachers return, right about 7 days before the start of school, which is August 12th, we're going to do a lot of training for teachers. I'm going to do a lot of that training myself, just to make sure that they understand the model really well.
Okay.
But parents should be expecting a really high-paced, fast learning year. They're going to get a lot of good instruction.
Yeah, and that's, I didn't even know they had principal training school. I just thought when you become a principal, boom, you go to the school.
What to do.
Yeah, you just so you hands-on with it. So
Yes.
Okay, so it's gonna be like it's gonna be like a boot camp or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty common. Every district does this, where they bring everyone back a little bit early. So we bring principals back earlier than teachers, and we give it. Normally, principals receive some kind of training in the summer, but this is really unique because it's all new to them. Everything that they're going to learn is something they haven't done before. The most experience that they have is anyone that actually did summer school. They got a little bit more push from us, and what the coaching in the moment kind of felt like for those summer school teachers that had me in the classroom.
Mhm.
And I think that was a good experience for them. Nerve-wracking. I know that they were nervous, but
Oh,
it
yeah.
was a good experience.
When technically did you start? Because did you start just feet running like
Yes.
soon as they?
Yeah, so the board of managers was actually selected just a few days before we started, and the day that they were signed in, or I forget what they call it, Jeff, but
Sworn in.
in. Okay. They were sworn in on April 29th, and that's the same day that I started. So we all started on the same day together, April 29th.
Okay, and so that when y'all first met each other that day?
No, we actually got an opportunity to do a little training together the Saturday before we started. It was really short, but just an introduction to me and me an introduction to them. I gave them kind of a heads up on what the model would look like. And then before we, this is all allowable before you're sworn in. And so we were able to have what we call the Last Supper. We have one meal together. You're not allowed to be in a quorum unless you're in public.
Okay.
So it was our last meal that we got to have together before everyone got sworn in and started. And that was the night before they got sworn in.
Hold on, y'all can't be. Y'all have to be in public together as far as.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jeff. You tell that part.
It's an Open Meetings Act. So it's state legislation, but you can't have a quorum at any time, which in our case means 4 or more. So at any given time, no group of the board of managers can meet together or be together in more than 3 people.
Okay, all right, I didn't know that.
That's the way it is. City council, school boards, any elected or.
Okay. What was your first impression when you assessed the district, both of y'all?
My first impression, I started doing school visits on the first day I was here.
Mm-hmm.
So my first impression was like, okay, I know I have the skill set to be able to help these teachers be the best teachers in the state of Texas for sure. I have the ability to do that. I felt a lot of hope. I also felt a lot of sadness because I think everybody here has tried really, really hard, but most of the people in Beaumont have been in Beaumont their whole life and their perspective is limited. It's like when you go visit Orlando on your vacation, your perspective broadens because you have all these other experiences. But the experiences that you have as an educator in one city is limited. And I have the experience of being in a lot of different places and having different types of perspectives in education. And so I can bring something that I know will help. So I felt hope, but a little sad because I wish that the kids in the generations before I got here had more.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point as far as like the perspective. People don't see like different perspectives, but is it something for like the teachers to get together as far as to, network with other teachers in different districts and try to get that different feel or opinion, or they just, it's nothing for them for that like that?
No, I absolutely think it's really good for teachers we'll have an experience with them here where they get to go to each other's schools and see what different teachers are doing within the district. But we'll also have opportunities, maybe not for every teacher because it's very difficult to pay for field trips and stuff. But we actually will take all the principals to Houston ISD. They're going to get to see what it looks like to run this model at a high level in Houston. And then we'll take some of the teachers so they can experience the same thing.
That's going to come on the principal
training. Year starts.
Oh, once the school year starts.
And the principals will actually go because Houston starts school before us. And so the principals they don't know this yet, so they're going to find it out right now. We're going to take all the principals on a field trip. The day before school starts here, August 12th, we'll be in Houston so they can see Houston's first day of school start. And they will see the model, how it runs on day 1 of school. So they can have perspective and see it as possible on day 1. And then they'll come and implement it the very next day.
Okay. What's your top 3 priorities? So for the first year, during your first year?
The very first priority is just to teach teachers how to be a great teacher. So being in their classrooms, giving them a lot of support, helping by actually modeling what it looks like to model these different kinds of instructional strategies that we put in place. But beyond that, we want 3rd through 10th grade that are all the tested areas to really feel like they're getting high quality instruction, moving into these tested areas. And then the other one that I think is really my favorite is what we call Project Accelerate.
Okay.
And we are going to put a lot of effort in pre-K through second grade, so that I believe that in 3 years, when the current kindergartners hit third grade, it's going to be the first year that you start seeing third grade testing rocket, through the roof. Because
Okay.
we're going to put so much emphasis on K1 and 2 being able to read, write, and do math before they enter third grade.
Okay. All right. Hey, Jeff, you went to Westbrook, right?
I did.
As far as Westbrook, is that one reason you going to school out here in Beaumont? Is that one reason why you took the job and why you care so much about the community and stuff?
It's a reason for sure. I went to Marshall and then graduated Westbrook,
Mhm.
and and I had a great experience. I know there's lots and lots of kids for generations that have had great experiences, but after seeing the last 5 or 6 years of test scores and just not moving the needle in terms of educating kids in the way, whether they stay here or whether they go off to do something else outside of this community. But we're just not preparing our youth to be successful. And like I mentioned earlier, that's foundational to a community's success, not just for the kids' success, which is super, super important, but this community will either thrive or not based off of students' success over time. And when I saw the test scores and I saw the tumult that was going on within the district, it was kind of surprising, because as a 40-year-old adult, you don't pay a ton of attention to it necessarily, but when you start really looking at it, it becomes very obvious that something drastic needs to be done. And I think we're in a great position to not only move the needle, but move the needle in a very positive way. So I'm really excited about what we have on the forefront.
And unfortunately, it's been a long time as far as the scores and stuff. So, Miss Sandy, I saw you in a previous meeting. You were speaking about the difficult truth. So, what's the difficult truth?
I think the difficult truth, it's an inconvenient truth, and that's to say that honestly, BISD failed kids for the last couple of decades.
Mm.
And it's not just the last administration, but it's the one before that and the one before that. And I think we call it regression. It's drift. It's like when you're rowing in a boat and then you just pick your oars up.
Mhm.
You may not intend to go anywhere, but the current will take you somewhere anyway, regardless of whether you want it to. And that's when you stop really putting focus in training teachers, training principals, making them better every single year. The minute you think they can handle it on their own, you're going to drift and you're going to regress, and you get comfortable with regression until you just say, well, that's who we are. This is who we are. And I'm here to change that.
As far as like the learning gaps among the students, like you already have a plan to implement, everything's ready to go?
Yes, sir. Ready to go.
Did you already have that, or are you just coming in from what you had in Houston and bringing it out here?
Yeah, I think
Or
it's
is
a
it
little. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, or is it some things you're gonna tweak?
Yeah, we're tweaking everything. The plan in Houston is a really good plan, by the way. It worked really well in Houston. The plan itself is very powerful. It's very strong and it works. I think the way you implement it also matters. So that is a way that we're tweaking it here. But we're also doing other things that Houston hasn't done,
Mhm.
and putting a lot of focus and energy on building up our early childhood so that they are actually prepared for third grade and we're not constantly reacting to what third grade scores, fourth grade scores, fifth grade scores look like. We're going to prepare them really well. So a third grade test is like, really, this is it? Make it harder.
Yeah. You know what? I know you already answered this question, and it's probably, but a lot of people on the internet or just in general, they don't follow certain media outlets, so they're constantly asking questions. But I think one of the questions that came up is like, school uniforms for like the whole district. Is that something, or in the future, or you just?
I've been in both scenarios as a principal and in different districts where uniforms were part of the process and uniforms weren't.
Mhm.
I see a lot of value in having the equity across every kid being in a uniform.
Mhm.
It actually takes away a lot of pressure on just focusing on instruction.
Yeah.
But with that said, I have no intention to bring uniforms to the district as a whole. That is going to be, community decisions. I think there's a couple of schools that already do uniforms. We won't take those away. If you're in uniforms, you'll stay in uniforms. I think what is going to happen is I'm going to put a dress code in place
Mhm.
that is protecting everyone, adults and kids, from a situation where you and what you're wearing or what you're not wearing is the attention getter instead of instruction being the attention getter. So really what you're going to look at is just probably a little bit more structured dress code where you're not going to see as much skin.
Okay, Jeff, when do y'all meet as far as the board? Is it every week or is it?
No, it's every third Thursday.
Okay.
At least right now, it's every third Thursday, and so next Thursday is our next board meeting for July. So it's once a month, unless there's an emergency meeting or a workshop of some sort. But all that's public and released 72 hours before the meeting.
Oh, okay. So anybody can go to this meeting?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Where is it at? Is that
It's at the administration building. The
okay.
There's a big boardroom.
Yeah.
You get to see me sitting up there hanging out.
Yeah, you are invited.
Yeah.
How does those meetings? Is it a lot of people there? Like, be honest, or is this like sometimes it's?
Yeah, I think generally it's
okay.
Usually a pretty full house.
Lots
of constructive feedback as there should be, and get to hear from the community and get to hear what's going on and what the interests and concerns and even positive comments about what's going on in the district. And in a time like this, I think that's incredibly important. So that's something that we definitely encourage. And the more anybody can get involved in this process, in general, the community, whether you have kids or you don't have kids, you have to care about this. And so whether that's showing up to a board meeting or whether that's mentoring kids or whether that's being a part of someone's life in a meaningful way that supports healthy student outcomes, then that's great. So it takes a village for sure to get this done. It's not just going to be us doing this.
Is that a positive thing that y'all see a lot of people caring about the situation that's ahead?
Yes. And in fact, I think that surprised me the most in such a good way is how much this city cares about the students, that BISD is successful. And I understand why. I was with Region 5 today, and I did a little training for just the Region 5 people so they could understand what we're doing in the model. But what I was telling them is that BISD is it's a very huge part of the ecosystem of Beaumont, the city. And the two function in a cohesion together. And if the district is not healthy, which it's not right now, then the city isn't healthy. And that is the case here. So businesses that won't come here, deals that can't be made because people don't want their kids in the district. And when the district is healthy, you'll see housing. All of a sudden, people will start buying houses again. People start moving to Beaumont again. The city will become healthier. Businesses will want to open, take chances and risks because more people will want to stay here and start businesses here. We're hoping more and more people will want to come back to Beaumont. And I love that this city cares so much. They may not like me, they may not like the intervention, but they sure love their city. And they want to see Beaumont ISD be successful, no matter who's at the helm.
Yeah, I talked to the mayor and the city manager, and they both been on the show, and we talked about city growth. And I told them, if you really want city growth, then they should network. They should get with you. Have y'all had any kind of meetings yet, as far as trying to make this city better? Because I think you're more important than anything else as far as what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I do believe that it is such a commitment of many, many pockets of people. It's why July 21st, we're going to have our first big meeting. We actually capped it at 200 because we only have capacity for 250, and there's about 50 of BISD people going. And July 21st is a big community meeting. We have 89 parents that are showing up that night. I think 18 business owners. I got all the numbers today, but we're going to do those every 2 months. And if they need to get bigger, we'll just get a bigger venue. And so more people can participate. This is the first one where we're actually going to be doing a lot of planning together as a city. And I'm going to throw out some real big challenges and let people work in small groups to help us solve them. And it's exciting to think we're actually moving forward as a city and not just as a district with me saying this is the way it is. And by the way, I am saying this is transformation. I'm not going to change transformation, my resolve, my line on it for anybody's opinion. But there are a lot of things that are outside of this model that I am going to put in place that we need a lot of help on. And so the community can be part of both. I'm not going to change the transformation for opinions because not everybody's going to like it.
No, that's true. Yeah.
That's just normal. That's just life. But I do want people's voice and I want them to be heard.
Yeah. What as far as like the student code, the code of conduct, the handbook, how can parents access that? Because like it's a lot of changes. So a lot of things been getting by. So
actually the student code of conduct didn't change a whole lot. That is it's like a behavior manual, the way we do things with students manual, and that's not going to change a whole lot. The biggest thing that's changing is instruction and how teachers are having to be different. They're the ones that are going to hit hardest. But the code of conduct will actually be released after the July board meeting because it has to be approved by the board in July. You can't start school without an approved code of conduct. So it will be released after the board approves it.
How can a parent get that information when
they can access it on the website right now? It's just the old version. The new version will be uploaded into the website after the board approves it next week.
Jeff, how important is it that the board gets along together? Do y'all get along together?
Oh, yeah.
Because the city council, when they first got together, they had it was a little rough around the edges when they so I mean, are y'all good? Y'all straight?
Yeah, we are. And I think with any board, with any governing body of any kind, it's extremely important that those people are very, very candid with each other because the more candid you can be and the more differing opinions you can hear is really, really important. But the most important piece of that is then once you hear all the opinions and once you discuss it and go through everything, you come to an agreement. Yes. And even if it's not unanimous, right? I mean, because it's a board of 7, same thing with council, same thing with any other elected position or appointed position, you come out of that room having understood that there's an agreement that's been made. And then you toe that line. I mean,
it has to be for y'all or something because that's how the city.
Yeah. It'll be. I mean, it would be a 4-3 vote,
okay,
or 5-2 vote, or whatever that is. But ultimately, I mean, the objective is for all of us to be on the same page and be towing the line in the same direction. Because if we're not aligned and we're not unanimous in a lot of ways, even if we disagree, then that creates issues all the way downstream. And so it's just extremely important for the kids. It's extremely important for the parents and for the students and the staff that we do the right thing and that we have the tenacity to disagree and then agree to disagree when that's appropriate. So
yeah,
and we're committed to that. I mean, that's going to be. It's a great group of 7. It's a great board. Lots of different. Areas of the community, lots of different ages, lots of different perspectives. And so all that brings people together and creates perspectives and creates the most positive outcome for the group by far.
What support do teachers need right now, in y'all opinion?
In my opinion, I think what they need to know right now, especially is the ones that stayed. Thank you so much, teachers, for being brave and getting through this transformation with us. I want them to know that we are going to give them support. I've been talking all summer that we want students in BISD to be known, supported, challenged, and prepared. That's the vision, but it's the same for adults. I know every teacher wants to be known. They want to be supported. They want to be challenged. I hope they want to be challenged because they are going to be challenged, but that also prepares them to be better and better and better and better and better and better. They can, if they want to be any position ever in the state of Texas or beyond after their 2 or 3 years in Beaumont in this transformation, there will be no way they wouldn't get a job the first person chosen. That's how good of a teacher they're going to be in the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay. Yeah, because that's, I mean, sometimes it seems like the teacher it's one of the hardest jobs out there is being a teacher. You're dealing with kids, you're dealing with parents.
Dealing with administration.
So like, shout out to the teachers out there,
Yes.
man, for real. So
Yes.
I did I'm trying to do a show as far as having teachers on, just to give their perspective about things as far as a teacher, because I think that job is so dope. I think my wife, she wanted to be a teacher, but maybe she can maybe I could push her to being a teacher.
Yeah, I have a job available for her right now.
Okay, she's watching, so I know she's seen it or whatever. So when I ask her, she don't need to act like, what are you talking about? Nah, I know you're watching. So as far as and now they said that we're short teachers, right? And so we have a job fair coming up, right?
We have job fairs almost every week at this point, and we're actually doing really well. It's funny, at the community meeting last night, I had a former board member come and challenge me openly about our vacancies, and she had said, we have 139 teacher vacancies. I was sure it wasn't, and I got to work this morning, and first thing, I wanted to make sure I knew the numbers right, and we have 87 total vacancies across the entire district. 87, 24 vacancies still for reading and math. And so that is what we're working the hardest on, is to make sure that those 24 vacancies are filled for reading and math.
Mhm.
But I have a plan. Every single classroom is going to have the right lesson every day, all the way through the school year, regardless of if there's a certified teacher in the classroom or not. We have a plan in place.
What's the ideal class size from, like, PK, high school?
Yeah, the state has set a standard, and I like the standard. I think about 1 to 20 for the lowers. 1 to 22 is good. Lowers being kindergarten, first, second grade. I think when you get to third, fourth, fifth grade, 1 to 22 to 1 to 25 is pretty good. I was a teacher for a really long time. I don't think I ever had less than 30 kids in my class, and actually really liked the 30 class group. It gave you a lot of energy, a lot of momentum. When you're a really good teacher, you love that energy that you get from that group of kids in the room. And so most of the class sizes will be between, I would say, 17 and 25.
17 to 25. Is that pretty normal? That's always been the norm as far as having a class that size?
Yeah, I would say that it depends on the district that you're in. So districts that are in areas where enrollment is declining, and this is an area where enrollment is declining, then you see smaller class sizes. That's actually a smaller class size. In areas where the district enrollment is flooding, like the suburban areas around Houston, they're actually gaining more and more and more families. They're moving out of the bigger city and into the suburban areas, and their enrollment is bursting at the seams by 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 kids a year. And those classes fill up so fast because they don't have time to build the next building to fill their enrollment. But we're in a situation where we have more buildings than we actually need for the enrollment that we have. So class sizes will be small for a few years.
That's not a bad thing, though, right?
It's a bad thing. It is a bad thing.
Okay.
It's a bad thing because it's good for class sizes. It's bad for the city. It's bad for the district because enrollment is one of the only ways that the district actually pays for anything. And if you don't have kids enrolled, you lose so much funding. But it's the same as if you have enrolled kids and they don't show up to school, you also lose funding.
Yeah.
So our money is almost 80, 90% dependent on the enrollment numbers and then students that are enrolled showing up to school every day.
Okay. As far as staff morale, how's it looking? It's a new change. Some people are a little reluctant. I know at my job, every time we change somebody in the higher ups, it's always some grumpy people. So
I think there's probably some grumpy people, and I think that's okay. I expect people to have some anxiety, to have some nerves associated with a big change like this. It's not just a leadership change. It's actually a complete change in the way all of Beaumont ISD is going to function. Everything changes about the district with me coming in. And that is actually a really great thing. It's hard to believe it's a really great thing if you're just hearing someone say it.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to take experience, time. experiences with me, experiences with the school's team that we put in place to make the schools better, so that teachers feel like the word support is real to them. Right now, I think they might be a little skeptical on what support actually is going to feel like.
Mhm.
And over time, we're going to prove that support is real. And as long as they're making progress, they have zero fear of losing their job, unless they do something illegal or something like that. That
Yeah,
would be
no,
normal.
without.
But no
Yeah.
one should worry about losing their job. It is not Houston. I want everyone to keep their job that's making progress. And to me, progress is everything.
Is that what is happening in Houston? Like teachers losing their jobs?
Well,
And
I think that did happen early on, especially in the first year of transformation. It's really hard, but Houston also has a ecosystem of many, many universities, lots of options in other districts to pull teachers from. They could take a little bit more bold approach in their first few years where, basically like, you're not cutting it, we're removing you. Without a lot of the time for coaching that we're going to give here. So they have a lot of people that they can pull from. We actually don't have a lot of resources to pull from. I need to coach teachers up. I need to help them get better. I need them to stay. And so our like, commitment to each other is that you show progress, I'm going to keep coaching you. You keep
Mhm.
showing progress, I'm going to keep making you better. And that's the commitment I'm making. Unless you do something that is like any other teacher that would get removed, then you should feel certain that you can keep your job as long as your mindset is open to the growth and you're willing to put effort into the changes.
How's our graduation rates looking?
Not good.
How can we improve the graduation rates by implementing the plan that you?
Yeah, and it's a reactive, I feel bad for the current.
Because I didn't know that. I thought it was
No,
good.
it's not good.
Yeah.
It's below 90%, which is below, it's actually closer to the bottom of the 80s.
Mhm.
So it's a year lagging, by the way. We'll talk a lot about that at board meetings over the next year because all the points for high school are changing starting this school year, but that's a whole nother conversation I'm not going to get into. But graduation rates start from, it sounds like a easy thing to say, but it actually starts from the work you do in pre-K 1, in kindergarten, first and second grade. That's where graduation rates come from. If second graders enter third grade reading, then graduation rates will explode. That's just the truth. So what we're doing in third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, that is all reactionary because we aren't teaching kids to read and write and do multiplication in second grade, in first grade, in kindergarten. And by the way, I was a kindergarten preschool teacher for 8 years before I ever did anything else.
Mhm.
So I have the experience to know what it looks like. And I held my kindergartners to a pretty high standard. I think they'd still tell you like, yeah, my hardest teacher was Sandi Stevens before I got married. And that's a good thing. I know what a standard looks like for littles all the way to early college. And I I know what kids can do. I know how adaptable they are. And I know parents want to protect their kids from hard stuff.
Mhm.
And I want them to lean into the hard and let us help them overcome it.
Is like as far as preparing students for college and military is that something that we're leaning towards also too as far
Oh,
as?
yes, absolutely 100%. I am less pro college. I don't want to sound like a non-educator in that way, but
Okay.
I am about kids doing their love of their life. I want to expose them to what the love of their life is in middle school and high school, and maybe even before that.
Mhm.
Whether that is going through to a trade school, CTE, I do want them to further their education. That doesn't mean it has to be in college.
Mhm.
It could actually mean an internship with one of the big industries here in Beaumont, and they learn on a track with experience and become way wealthier than a kid that graduates with a 4-year degree and they do the job that they love at the same time. So what I want is kids to choose not to go to college but have all the scholarships needed to go to college. I want
Mhm.
them to have the all the learning and the thought process to be excelled in college, but have the choice be theirs.
Yeah, and I know when I was graduating, I know the military used to come on campus and talk to us, almost harass at the point. But I don't know if they're still doing that. I don't know if the military and I know we used to have college schools come. I think it's college day or campus day or something like
campus
that.
days. Yep.
Yep.
I actually have two brothers that were in the military. My dad was in the military. To me, military is such a great move for kids. I know we have JROTC in our high schools, and to me, I was a high school principal for a really long time. And JROTC, whether you choose military or not, I think it's such an incredible experience for especially freshmen to have. It is such a disciplined approach, and it is tough, but it trains you. It raises your maturity so fast. It gives you this grit that will carry you through the difficult circumstances that happen as you go through puberty and the challenges that hit you, whether it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, or, just a tough class or choosing an AP class versus a traditional class. I love the military concept, and I think it's a great idea to give kids that option. And it also, I look at my brothers, not only did the military pay for their own college after they got out of the military, but it's paying for their kids' college.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's setting you up for a future that is unlike any other degree you could get.
Yeah, I had two uncles and I had my brother. They both went to the military. My uncle was actually a recruiter, so he was trying to recruit us like in middle school. Like that.
Podcast is like totally different world.
No, for real, no. Shout out to my uncle though, but he was trying to get us early, man. Like, but I seen I was young enough to see my uncles like how the military changed their life, and I was, and I seen how the military changed my brother's life, and I always say, as far as a young man or a woman, if you don't have a plan when you get out of high school,
such a good option.
It's a great option. That's just my opinion. That's what I'm just saying. So
and I'm not trying to push kids any direction.
No, yeah.
I just really want them to fall in love with something that they just feel really attached to, and get to choose that because they're very smart, they're very prepared, and they have several options. That's what I want for them.
Another thing I was seeing about like high school, like a block scheduling or something.
Yes.
Somebody was talking about. Are they going to that?
Oh yeah, block schedule.
Oh, okay. Jeff, did y'all vote that in, or is that?
No, that's actually superintendent work. The board doesn't get to make.
Okay. My bad, Jeff.
They've been learning a lot about the difference between their lane and my lane.
Yeah, trust me, you wouldn't want me to make those decisions anyway. I promise you. I trust Sandi very, very
My
much.
bad, Jeff. I'm gonna keep you in your lane, man. I had
At the board meeting, we're going to approve the board guardrails and the superintendent guardrails. And one of the guardrails we agreed for the board was that they would stay out of the superintendent's business.
Okay, yeah. Is that hard, Jeff?
More nicely than that.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be hard. I think Sandi's so incredible. Her team's so incredible. We've got such great staff, and we're going to have incredible teachers doing incredible instruction. And that's really her lane. And the lane of the board of managers is really just to make sure that the district functions as appropriate. And so, and that's what we're gonna pay attention to. Hold the superintendent accountable to the goals and guardrails that we have in place that we'll establish next week and vote on. And that's really it's really mainly an oversight of the entire district, but not the day-to-day operations and what happens. That's not. Trust me, again, you wouldn't want me to make those decisions.
How important is, as far as the roles like the teacher will play shaping the district's decision? Like, can they implement some ideas, or is that?
They will actually have ideas that they implement, but they will be structured. So, for example, they're not going to have any say-so in the model or the way the model works. They're going to learn how to do it and do it well, and I'm going to help them perform really well within it. But there's a lot of things coming up beyond the model that I am excited to be a part of with teachers. We're going to implement this group called the Trailblazers. So teachers will be able to apply for it. They'll have to also get the approval of their principal to be a part of the group, but we're going to create our own teacher pay for performance plan. Teachers are going to fully inform that plan. So we're going to kind of propose ideas to them. They're going to spend a whole year with us working through the processes of what the plan should look like, what data points should drive their pay. And I'll have some to say about that, like within this pie, what do you want? But obviously student outcomes is going to be part of it, not the biggest part of it actually, but it will be part of it. And that is going to allow us to have a much greater salary. In fact, we're going to be the first district in the entire Golden Triangle to implement a pay for performance that is, and I can't say for sure, but I feel very confident that teachers who are performing at a proficient or higher level are going to see salaries upwards in the 80s to 90s to
Oh, really?
$100,000.
Jeez.
Yes, we will be the highest paid district in the Golden Triangle for sure and beyond.
Okay. Somebody just asked a question about the Brace program and to help current workers become teachers. Is that still a thing as far as the Brace program?
Yeah, it's not going to look like it did for the program that that is teachers, people acting as teachers that don't yet have a 4-year degree. That actually can't happen. You have to have a 4-year degree to be a teacher. So you can be a full-time substitute and not have a 4-year degree. You cannot be a teacher. And so that program actually put people as full-time teachers in the classroom. And that's what we're trying to avoid. We want you to get your degree and put you in the classroom because you have all the rights and privileges that you've earned to be in the classroom. So we will work with teachers. We actually have a position called a student support coach, which only requires 36 hours of college. So you can get your 36 hours of college, be in the school system, learn the plan, learn how to be a great teacher, support kids while you're still getting that degree. And then as soon as you have that degree, you're ready to be a full-time teacher.
Yeah, 36 hours. That's like a certificate.
Yeah, it's not even that. You need 60 hours to get your associates. So we hope you have your associates, but it's kind of this like gradual release of moving you into a teacher position. You get to start without a whole lot, and then we hope that you get your associates, and then we can move you up a step, and then hope that you get your teacher certification, and we can move you up a step.
Oh, that's all you need is your associates?
You need your associates to then be a full-time sub.
Okay. All right. So that's all it I have to tell my wife, I can get her started right there, and then she can see if she wants to.
She's gonna stop watching this show.
No, that's part of her job. No, that's that's why we going on now. But as far as addressing student mental health, how can we address that? Are we doing something to address the mental health as far as kids?
Yeah, to me, the whole child matters. Instruction is so important. Academics, kids being able to read and write and do math, that's critical. I also think mental health is connected to students being able to read and write. Those things do coexist together, but it's not the only thing. So you do have to have support systems for kids that really need extra support. We are partnering with one of the groups that was part of the district last year that we've already had a couple of meetings with them, the revision group. They are really focused on the kids who are struggling the most with being motivated in learning because of mental strength or lack of mental strength. So they're going to be working on our kids in that area, of course, with parent permission, parent involvement. And we're also going to invest in a lot of parenting programs. We're going to do our own parenting workshops. We're going to bring experts around that. I'm not an expert in mental health. I'm an expert in instruction. So we'll bring experts to help parents know how to handle students that have varying kinds of needs, from special education to language barriers to helping parents, better deal with the conflict resolution that happens in the home. We want to provide as much support as possible to parents. It feels like getting out of our lane a little bit with instruction, but we also realize there's a lot of help that needs to be done out there, and our job is bigger than instruction. It's really, that's why we call it Elevate Beaumont, by the way. When I first got here, someone said, why aren't you calling it Elevate Beaumont ISD? It needs to have the ISD on it. I said, no, you're missing the point. It's not, yes, ISD matters, but for the bigger ecosystem of the city. This is about elevating the city of Beaumont through the work we do in Beaumont ISD. So this is my job.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you like as far as like the importance how important is the community involvement in student success? Because I know over here, as far as like my wife and me, like as far as the success for my daughter is very important as soon as she comes home. So how important is the community involvement? We know that y'all have a big job, but as far as the community.
I actually think the community is super critical, whether you have kids in the district or not. I mean, I have a dream,
Hmm.
and one of my dreams is that if you've ever been to a church, and especially modern church, they have all these little small groups. And my dream is that we could put families together in these small groups that are committed together as a maybe 3, 4, 5, and 6 families that would stay together for the duration of a child of their kids' schooling, and they would constantly be supporting each other. And hey, you're sick, I'm going to come pick up your kids. I'm going to take care of all the schooling this week. I'm going to pack lunches for us this week. I'm going to make sure that our parents are going to go to the games this week. So parents who are working, who have special needs, who can't get to a bus stop, who just can't, their life is complex and they can't pull it all together. This is where a community can say, like, here are the families that need more support, and here are the families that can provide that support. How do we combine those two things into a system that functions at a high level so every kid knows what it feels like to show up to school every day and never have to worry about, are they going to have a ride to school? Are they going to make it to school? There are kids that stress out because they can't go to school.
Hmm.
And there are kids that stress out because they're at school and worrying about what's happening at home with their family. And I was one of those kids. I was worried about what was happening at home while I was at school. It made it really hard for me to learn. And I think we want to try to solve for both of those things, even though our job is instruction.
Yeah, because it's a lot of challenges that students are facing like outside the classroom,
Yes,
and that can affect the kids inside the classroom.
it does.
So, I
It's
mean,
research based. It's called adverse childhood experiences. And the more adverse childhood experiences you have, the harder it is for you to learn. And we have to try to work on both ends of that. You can't just force down reading a kid's throat. A lot of kids will be able to read with no problem, but there is a percentage of kids that aren't going to just pick up reading just because you teach them how to read in first grade. They're just not going to pick it up because of adverse childhood experiences. So we have to work as a system, as a community. I think the statement "it takes a village" is absolutely true. And the more people who say, I want to be part of the village, I want to be part of the solution, and whatever that looks like, Massey, I want to be part of it. That's going to be, it's going to be gold.
Yeah, I think the key there is it's part of the solution, right? I mean,
mhm.
we're like I said earlier, we're not always going to agree. We're going to have different opinions on things across the community, how things are done, how things are approached. But ultimately, at some point, we all have to be part of the solution. And the solution at this moment is what we're doing in BISD. And that will create so many more positive effects downstream within the community. And so, let's get together. Let's, put aside all of our differences, put aside all of our gripes and issues and all that, and let's toe in the right direction, because this is that important. And again, we can have different opinions, we can have different ideas about manner by which, but ultimately we are doing everything we possibly can. We need the community support to make sure that we're successful to create the best possible student outcomes and create the best possible community over the course of the next several years. And that's the most important piece of this. We're doing this because it needs to be done, and we're doing it because it's extremely important.
How do you plan on building trust though with the parents and the community? Because previous administrations have been letting down the community. So it's like building faith. It's almost like, man, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan and we don't trust Jerry Jones. You know what I'm saying? Even though,
I'm with you.
you know,
I'm not necessarily a Dallas Cowboys fan, but I'll ask you this question: when's the last time that the Cowboys won a Super Bowl?
96, I believe.
Okay, so actions speak louder than words.
Why,
Right?
Sandy? Why'd
So
you?
we can
He
talk
said
all-
he
we
made
can
that
talk
face.
all day.
Ew.
Also,
Yeah, I'm a
when's the last
Cowboy
time that
fan.
The Cowboys
I
won a
do
Super Bowl.
this.
I don't know.
I don't know when they won
But-
last.
My point is that we're going to win Super Bowls, and
Okay.
and that is the difference here, is that we're going to do everything we possibly can to win the games, win the season, and win the Super Bowl. And And once that starts to happen, and it will, actions speak louder than words. And so all the talk and all the stuff and all the nonsense and noise will go away. I've said this to a lot of friends and a lot of family and people that call me. And people's opinions right now are justifiably bad. Like, I can't argue against the way the people's opinions are right now because of what's happened for generations in the district. So to have that argument is irrelevant. But at the end of the day, once things start to improve, and they will, and once we win games, once we win seasons and Super Bowls, things will begin to change, and the community at that point will see the actions that are in place, and not just the talk and all the nonsense that's going on right now. So I think that's important to keep your eye on. Look at the actions, look at the results, and because they will come.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing as far as building trust, and trust does come with anything you do. It's just that you have to deal with like the beginning part, and then people will start
pioneering.
Now, as far as somebody said, as far as the discipline for kids, did they get rid of what was that? Why did it go blank? As far as
Yes, it's gone.
what is that?
Like, I
She
can't
said,
remember
"Yeah,
what
it's
they
gone."
called it, but it's a position that was like to take care of the disciplinary of
Yes.
the kids. Yeah, I can't remember what the position was called. Listen, when you're looking at a district that has not had the best instruction, and listen, I walked every school in May. It was very poor quality instruction. I'm not saying the teachers have great potential. What they didn't get was anyone telling them how to hold the line, what that line looks like, training them to that line, supporting them through that line. They have not had that. That's what I'm going to give them. It's that in itself, when teachers start teaching so well, and it's going to start August 12th. We're not waiting 3 months. You're going to see a change literally on the first day of school. Literally on the first day of school.
Are you excited?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Yes.
Can't you tell?
It is so exciting. And I know teachers are nervous, but they are going to just be, in a year, they're going to be so grateful that they stayed. And in 2 years, they're going to get the benefit of the money that comes with the growth that they're going to have over the next 2 years. And we're going to be the highest paid district in the Golden Triangle. They're going to be the best teachers in the district. And then all those teachers that left will be wishing they would have stayed, because now they'll be in mediocre schools while we are outperforming the entire Golden Triangle. That is going to happen. And it's going to be sustainable because we are focusing on our early kids to teach them to read early.
Before I forget, Shane Ferguson, I had him on the show
Shane.
Friday.
I watched his episode.
Yeah. Shane was saying, as far as like,
no, I heard him. I heard that part. I said, you said your superintendent's here. I'm gonna.
As far as
Hey,
see, I had to keep my word. So I'm a man of my word, Shane. As far as he wanted to come in, and I don't know if that's something against the state as far as like religion wise.
There are ways to do it. There are ways to do it where you don't have the crossover of church and state. For example, every principle in the Bible is actually just a great principle.
Mhm.
You can actually remove the scripture verse and you can just talk about the principle. Today I read in Colossians 4, it said, use wisdom when dealing with outsiders. I think that's a pretty good principle, don't you think so?
Yeah.
And have grace with your speech when dealing with outsiders. And that's just a good principle. So you can bring great biblical principles to assemblies, schools, events, and then you can say, hey, by the way, tonight we're actually going to have a service. And then because it's an after school event, then they can talk about God all they want. But during the school day, we bring in the principles, the ideas that you have to bring to kids. And I'm one that's big on, I'm a huge fan of God.
Okay.
So I love bringing good principles into the school system.
Now I have another friend of mine. His name's David Martin. He speaks at schools. I think he's all over San Antonio, Port Arthur, and motivational stuff like that. Will people be allowed? Do they have to go through the district? Is this something that they have to sign out?
Absolutely. I'm not going to just have anybody come in and talk to the kids. I vet everyone very, very particularly, and we actually will have motivational events for our high schools, especially, and assemblies that we will bring in special speakers. So they need to reach out, and I will vet them, and I'll decide if they're what our kids need.
How do they reach out to you though? They just apply
All
through
of
the.
our contact information is on the website.
Oh, okay, for them, because
I get lots of emails every day.
I know, and it's something that I just seen somebody share to me as far as if you want to ride the school bus with the kids at the beginning of the.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of our transportation. In the first 2 weeks of school, we're going to have an adult on every single bus from either a volunteer or a district personnel. We're going to train everybody on what it looks like to ride the bus with kids for the first 2 weeks, to help
That's
kids
pretty cool.
understand the rules, to help them follow the bus guidelines, to help them know what it feels like to be on a bus with littles and bigs all at the same time. Showing up at their bus stop, we're going to do empathy rides where we follow a bus route and make sure that it's the right amount of time for kids to be on a bus. And we want to make sure that the experience that kids are having is a genuinely authentic experience. But I also want to keep my bus drivers where the experience that the bus drivers are having is actually a good experience too. Really quick story. I have a twin brother. We had to ride the bus to school when we were little. And because we were young, we were 5 years old, we were in the front seat of the bus every day. And one day we walked onto the bus and there was this big poster. It was right where our seat was. And it said, "Happy birthday, David and Sandy." And it was our birthday. And that was something the bus driver did. And so having this experience where the bus driver and the kids who ride their routes have a relationship, they care about each other, they depend on each other. That's really important. It's part of the experience of school. And if you have to ride the bus, it should be a good experience. So we're putting adults on the bus for the first 2 weeks and maybe longer. We'll see.
I think that's a cool idea. And I was looking to see if I was available to do that too. I think you could pick your own school.
Oh my gosh, you would be the best. You could actually do a live. You could do a cast on the bus.
Oh, you'll let that happen?
Yes.
I get your permission.
I might have to get the permission for a group of like the bus kids of that group of parents.
The first 5 rows.
Yeah. I think you kids would love you.
I think that's a good idea. I just seen it earlier today. Somebody shared it to me, and I think that's
I'm really excited about that.
As far as parents wanting to be involved, and that kind of prevents a little play out there and stuff like that.
We're trying to do it right from the start and solve a lot of systems that maybe had been overlooked for a while. So we're doing the best we can. We're not going to get it all right, you guys. Have a little bit of grace as we go through pioneering the district, brand new.
Now I know you say you did a walkthrough through all the schools. Yes. Do you think we need a new high school eventually?
You know what? I have had it in my brain, honestly. I have some ideas floating in my head, but I'm going to keep it in my head for now.
Okay. All right. So that's, somebody threw out an idea. I don't know. This was far-fetched. Somebody was talking about combining both high schools.
No. Never.
Combining. I was like, man, that's like one of those Houston schools out there.
No, that's not even a Houston school. That's a Dallas school. Dallas actually has a school with 5,000 kids in it.
That's crazy.
It's like a college campus. It literally is like a college campus. They have like 16 assistant principals. It's too much, and we don't need to go there.
16 assistant?
Yeah.
Golly, it's like a small little town and stuff.
It really is like a college campus. It's just too much, and they're managing it, but it's a lot. The principal gets paid quite a bit more money to principal that school as well.
Yeah, I bet it does. What opportunities, Jeff, do you think students should have previous to the generations that they didn't have? That's a good question.
That is a great question. I mean, the ability to get great instruction, the ability to learn, the ability to, be put in a position or set up in a position in life to do, to Sandy's point earlier, to do whatever they want, whether it's go to college, whether it's go to the military, whether it's go to an associate's degree, start a business. We didn't do that for our kids for the last, couple decades. And I think it's extremely sad, but I'm excited to see that this is we're going to give that opportunity to kids moving forward. But it's just one of those things where our community and the kids that stayed, and even the kids that left to go do other things, were not put in a great position. And so they had to do more, had to work harder, both in college and after high school to catch up. And so we want to be at a level playing field or even above that with other cities across the state and across the country.
I got a few more questions, but one of the questions is, how can local businesses and communities support schools? Is it a way that they can kind of tap in? Because you said like the whole city is kind of behind this as far as the improvement.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, even if you don't like the intervention, you definitely want BISD to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
I think the businesses have a big input because a lot of the businesses, especially the bigger ones, the industrial ones,
Mm-hmm.
they're looking for the next generation of workers to come from Beaumont,
Mm-hmm.
at least options to come from Beaumont. And we want to provide that for them. So one of the things we want to do is we're actually going through the process of looking at what CTE programs should be sunsetted so that we can really bring in programs that fit the community really, really well and give a really easy path to move kids into internships, whether they choose college or not. Some of these businesses will require college, some won't. But we are planning in the future and the near future, I would say in the next 3 months, that we're going to bring a bunch of businesses into a room together and we're going to talk about what they need, what they're hoping for, what they want kids to come out of high school with, and what their business is, what are the soft skills that our kids need to be able to make it in their careers. I met with ExxonMobil not too long ago, and they were pretty hardcore about the expectations that they have for the level that kids need to be able to think and do math outside of high school. And so we're trying to create, eventually we'll be in an accelerated math situation where all kids will take Algebra 1 before they ever get to a freshman class. So what looks like Pegasus Academy or, Odom, that's going to be the standard, not the special event at one school.
I like that.
It's going to be the norm. Every kid across Beaumont ISD is going to have an equitable experience. Every kid's going to have access to high quality instruction, high performing teachers, and an education that is at the top level. We're going to encourage every single student to at least take on one pre-AP, AP class in their high school career and start that in middle school over the next couple of years. But we'll ask businesses to tell us what they need. And then we're also going to ask them to commit to, if we have kids that are at their level, will they commit to internships while they're still in high school? Will they commit to giving them the first interviews when they are prepared for that job? And see what we can do to really connect with the industry here.
Yeah, but it's an industrial city. I mean, industrial town or city, and it is a lot of refineries out here. And I think that's one thing that it was a complaint as far as like them hiring people from the city. And you got Exxon, you got Chevron, you got all these places, and an internship is very important because it gives you hands-on experience from just being in the classroom. So. Shout out to Lamar State College, Port Arthur. I went to that school. It was a great school. It gave me like hands-on, but and I ended up getting an internship. But I didn't remember seeing that when I was in high school, as far as the opportunities, having that opportunity and still being in an industrial town. So I think that's great for the kids. So last question, let me get out of here. It's people in the chat is asking all kind of questions. So chat, forgive me if I'm not, it's too many questions in there. So I already know I got some friends. I had a question I want to look. All right. I'm not answering all those questions and stuff like that. But 5 years from now, what do you hope people would say about the impact you had on the district?
I actually don't want them to say anything about the impact I'm having on the district.
None at all.
What I'm saying is it's not about me.
Okay.
It's about the city. I actually don't want them to talk about me at all. I want them to talk about Beaumont ISD and the teachers and the principals. I want them to see the value that each school has. And if they say it wasn't Massey, it was that principal, it was that teacher, that would make me proud, because that's what we're building.
Jeff, how would you like to, as the president of the board of managers, how would you like to look in 5 years?
As long as we have a great solution and outcome from this whole process, that's all that matters to me.
So August the 12th, that's every school.
Every school.
Starting. Jeff, what you gonna be doing August the 12th? You gonna be at a campus?
I'll be in schools.
You gonna be in? You go.
I was in school at the end of last last school
He
year.
sure was.
I'll be in schools again.
Jeff did lots of
at
school
the
visits already with me.
start of this year. So
Okay. All right. So you know what? As far as parents, can they is it I used to see parents getting together before the schools, and it was like, like celebrating the kids, like encouraging
cheering
them.
them on, or
Yes,
to
like
their-
a little tunnel or something
Yes,
like
I
that.
love that. I
Can
love that.
can a principal do that for a school, or they have to
Yes,
get with you?
No, 100%. I would love to see that. I would love to see it.
So hey, principals, kids, or parents,
Yeah.
yeah,
would
I
love
think
to
that's
see
kind
it.
of cool. You go on
If
school
they-
and parents
Man, I
like,
would love to see different groups say we'll take on a different week for the whole rest of the year. Like, yeah, just like be out there and high five kids as they're walking in the door. Play some music. Have a
Mhm.
great time.
All right. Well, look, if you missed any portion of the show, because a lot of y'all was asking questions that we had already answered. So if you missed any portion of the show, this is on YouTube. It's going to be on my Facebook page. And if you just want to listen to it, if you don't want to see our faces, you can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and such and such. And if you have any more questions to ask, you can just email BISD and get with the proper people, and you can make that happen. I appreciate you and Jeff and your husband coming on the show for
Yeah.
sure. So how was it? How was it for y'all?
What do you think, honey?
Oh, I think that was fantastic.
You was cool with it?
Oh yeah, I was cool with everything. And I want to see you on a bus.
You want to see me on a
Yes,
bus?
you
All right,
gotta do
I'm,
that. That was too good.
all right. I'm gonna talk to my job. I'm gonna see if I can make something happen. I'm gonna use a little PTO. I got a lot of PTO.
Your general manager back here, your wife.
Oh yeah, she.
no, she'll be on a classroom.
Yeah, we getting her, we getting that job for her and stuff like that. But I appreciate you and Jeff for coming on, man. And
Thank you
I know y'all been dealing with a lot and interviewing a lot and out in the public, and I know it can be a little stressful sometimes. So
This is important. And thank you for asking us to come on.
I appreciate you. And look, man, y'all can always come on if y'all want to, man. That's why I tried to make it as comfortable for y'all.
Well, you know what? Give us a half year results, and then we'll come back.
Yeah, we'll
Hang out
see.
here
We'll see
sometime.
what's up.
Yeah,
Like
Jeff just wants to hang out.
I mean, this is a cool
Jeff,
room.
man,
That's why I
yeah,
hang
you know the Huffs and stuff. Shout out to the Huffs.
out.
The Huffs we was talking about, man. You and the Huffs, we come and chill and
That's
stuff
right.
like
We'll
that.
do
So
this never-
we could talk. We could do a movie podcast or something like that, man, or something. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all coming on, and everybody out there, man, y'all have a great week. I know y'all used to see me on Fridays. It's no show Friday, so I'll see y'all again in a couple weeks, man. I appreciate everybody that tapped into the show, and we'll see y'all again. Y'all be blessed out there.